They are known simply as the Springfield Three. 18-year-old Stacy McCall wanted to attend Missouri State University.
I want to hear about Stacy.
I would say she was so funny and bubbly, and she would do things, and we called her Spacey Stacy, because she would come out with things that would be kind of space cadet things.
Suzie Streeter, just 19, wanted to follow in her mother's footsteps and be a hairdresser.
Very outgoing, fun, happy. Suzie was a creature of habit, almost OCD to some degree. There were some things that I teased her about. Where she parked her car in the driveway was always the same.
And Suzie's mom, Sherrill, she had just bought her dream home in a nice, safe part of Springfield, Missouri.
She is pretty fierce lady. She didn't do a lot of half measures in her life.
It was supposed to be one of the happiest times in the teenagers' lives. Susie and Stacy were graduating from Kickapoo High School.
And were Susie and Stacy good friends?
They used to be friends, good friends back in grade school. And they'd kind of grown apart. Susie went with a different crowd than Stacy did.
Susie was the popular girl who dated a bad boy. Stacy was pretty, a local model who hung out with the goofy crowd. But fate was about to reunite the former grade school friends in the cruelest of ways. Just hours after receiving their diplomas, the teens head out for the same graduation party.
Stacy had said she was going to go on to some parties.
After the party, the grads planned to drive to Branson, Missouri, about an hour away, and go to the Whitewater Amusement Park in the morning.
I'm saying, no, please. Don't go down tonight. You can go tomorrow.
Were you afraid there was going to be trouble on the way?
Well, actually, I think I was afraid of a car accident.
But once at the party in Springfield, destiny sends the girls in a different direction.
She called me at 10:30 and said, Mom, don't worry, we're not going to go to Branson tonight. And I said, phew, thank you.
Instead, everybody decides to sleep over at another classmate's house. Stacy promises to call her mom in the morning before heading to the water park.
You know, you say, I love you again on the phone, and I had no idea that was the last time I was going to hear her voice.
Sometime in the wee hours of the morning, plans change again. The sleepover is so crowded, Stacy asks her friend Suzie to spend the night at her house.
And Suzie said, I've got a brand new king-size waterbed. Why don't you come and stay at my house with me, and we'll get ready and go to Whitewater and meet them.
The girls leave the party just after 2 a.m. Cops believe Stacy and Suzie walked through the front door of Sherrill's house on Delmar Street about 15 minutes later. That's where the mystery begins. Early the next morning, Susie's best friend Nigel calls to find out when they're leaving for the water park.
I got the answering machine. I left her a message. I hung up and laid back down and waited for her to call me back. And she never called me back.
Janice is also getting antsy, waiting to hear from Stacy.
And I said, you know, she should have called me by now. I don't think she's still asleep. And then I left another message, probably an hour or two later. And by the third message, I was getting pretty frantic.
When the girls fail to contact anybody about the trip to the water park, everyone makes their way to the little house on Delmar Street.
I knew there was something bad wrong, but I didn't want to admit it to myself.
At first, there's relief.
All three cars were there.
Stacy, Susie, and Sherrill's cars are all lined up in the circular driveway. Then Nigel notices something wrong. That's not where Suzie normally parks.
She would always pull right into the carport. That's not where her car was. And then I instantly am thinking, was somebody parked in the driveway? Was somebody already there?
As they walk toward the house, more signs of trouble.
There was glass on the porch.
A lamppost was shattered. Two friends quickly sweep up the mess and throw it in a dumpster across the street.
They cleaned it off because they knew that Sherrill wouldn't like that.
They knock. There's no answer. Then they slowly turn the doorknob.
And I thought, why would they leave their front door unlocked? And I hollered and I said, Stacy, Suzie, and called for Sherrill. Nobody was answering.
The lights are off and the television is on, but the screen is snow.
Like they had been watching a show and or a movie or something, and it went off.
Then, out of the shadows, a tiny figure comes barreling toward them. It's Susie's little dog, Cinnamon, and she's freaked out.
The dog was in there just going crazy, or just yipping and crying.
They cautiously creep toward the bedroom.
Sherrill's house is immaculate, and I said either she'd already made up her bed or she hadn't gone to bed.
No signs of struggle.
Right, no signs of struggle. Everything was nice and neat.
Then something stops them in their tracks. All three of the women's purses are neatly lined up beside each other.
Opened up their purses and went through. That's when we found out that Sherrill had almost a $900 deposit in her purse.
Nothing seemed to be missing, but there was something else strange. Sherrill never went anywhere without her cigarettes.
Sherrill is a chain smoker. Her cigarettes and purse are right here.
Then their hearts jump. The phone rings, but it's not the girls. A stranger is on the line.
Lewd sexual content.
Up next, where in the world are Susie, Stacy, and Sherrill?
Do you believe the women are still alive?
And the mystery of the missing Springfield 3 takes a twisted turn as rumors of a dark underworld emerge.
There were a lot of things about devil worship and satanic things that she was looking into.
That raised an issue, and if they got mad at her, did they get sufficiently mad to actually try to kidnap her and kill her?